When this all came very clear to me was two instances. Number one, there was a woman who was pushing diversity at Microsoft, and she came knocking on my door. And she said, hey, I work with HR. We've been sending some emails to you about helping you diversify your team. And I haven't gotten any replies. Could we please have a discussion? I just wanted to come by. You've got a smaller team, no offense, but it's really important that we do this, and we can help you grow the number of team members you have. Now, do you see the ploy? At Microsoft, there were two things that really communicated power. One was a big revenue number. The other was how many heads did you have? I had a general manager one day tell me, because he was saying, I was trying to move up in the organization. He said, well, you got to get some management under your belt. I go, Scott, right? I manage people. He goes, Todd, 12 people is not going to impress anybody. You need to manage hundreds of people. That matters. So what this HR lady was saying to me is, I can help you get more direct reports, therefore more power. And I knew exactly what was on my bookshelf behind me. I knew it. She came in. I said, please, yeah, come in. Let me shut some things down. Sit down. Let's have a conversation. And she sat down facing my bookshelf, which was behind me. Want to know what was right behind my head? Shakedown, a book about Jesse Jackson and how Jesse Jackson was a shakedown artist right behind my head. I knew she was looking at it. She was a black woman. I knew she was offended, but she wouldn't say anything. And I said, can we start on a baseline here? What does diversity mean? She goes, what does diversity mean? Well, it means hiring people who are diverse. It's right, but what does that mean? Diversity. She goes, well, people of different races. We're underrepresented with races. Okay. Okay, so we want to have more, what, maybe help me here, black people, Asian people, mostly black people. Okay, I'm in. So how do we go find black people who are great at coding and great at business and tech and bring them in, or have great promise, intellectual prowess? How do we find the very smartest, high IQ, malleable, smart, adaptive black people? I'm in. What do I need to do to help? She goes, well, that's not really the point. The point is that we need more black bodies. I said, but you mean the right black bodies? She goes, well, right now we're behind the curve, so we really just need black people. I said, but you don't mean that we would hire people without promise or talent, right? Oh, no, but that's not the first thing we'd look at. Oh. I don't think I'm comfortable with that. The look on her face was insane and instructive. The insanity was she sat there with her mouth open. I mean, I'm literally looking at her teeth. Then her eyes glanced to the Jesse Jackson book, and she knew. I told her, if you can come here with a plan to help us find the smartest, most promising, brilliant, malleable, curious, humble black people, I am in. I will do anything to help with that. But if you're telling me you simply need black people, I can't do that. That's unethical. That was one thing that indicated to me my diversity. Another came in a meeting that was hilarious and instructive. When I was in that meeting, I remember looking around the room and understanding something that I was going to say was going to blow people's minds. It was. So I was in yet another meeting, and this was one I voluntarily went to because I was alerted to the move to diversify Microsoft. It was a response, I think, to my interaction with this woman that I got invited to a discussion group. And I think the play was here to put some peer pressure on me. It didn't work to have someone from HR come and say this. Now, by the way, had I not taken a product, not me, but my team, if our team had not taken a product from 5 million to 25 million to 100 million in revenue, she simply could have gone upstairs and we've got a troublemaker over here. Well, when that product eventually became a $1 billion contributor to Microsoft, I wasn't there for that. That sort of troublemaker thing didn't matter as much. So I got asked to go to this meeting. And I said, yeah, I'd love to attend this meeting. So we sat in one of the conference rooms in Microsoft with the door closed, and there was a whiteboard, and there was a lady leading this. And she was a lovely Asian lady. And as I recall, she was from Yale or Harvard. There's a reason I'm saying Yale or Harvard. The beginning began, and she discussed that we were here with leaders of small to medium-sized teams because it was based upon us, a new generation of leaders. They wanted to build a workplace of diversity. So when we talked through diversity, and again, everybody gave their backgrounds. This is what you did at Microsoft. Hi, my name's Alyssa. I'm from this business unit. We concentrate on this. I report into this executive. I went to school, an undergrad here. I got my graduate degree here. And we went around the table, and it comes up to me. I go, hi, I'm Todd, and I'm the most diverse person here in the room. I'm the only college dropout. I barely made it out of high school. I learned what I learned by working in radio and then teaching myself to write some code and hiring people smarter than me and learning how to go to Silicon Valley and raise money and learning how to make technology to replicate the greatest forms of media. I'm very fortunate to work at Microsoft under this boss. I won't say the boss's name. I'll say his first name. I'm very fortunate to work here at Microsoft under John, and I'm really, really blessed to be here as the most diverse member of the room. And again, the look of shock's on the faces. And the lady said, what do you mean the most diverse? I said, no, I'm just thinking of it. I'm sitting here. Yale, Harvard, Stanford, NYU, Yale, Harvard, college dropout. And the lady who ran the meeting, this very nice Asian lady, read the room, laughed, first nervously, and then genuinely. She said, he's right. He's actually right. I mean, all of us are coming at things from one direction. Academia. She got it. Actual diversity is something Microsoft used to do. They used to take people on based upon talent or promise. Bill Gates dropped out of college, and now we know he's a worldwide expert on vaccines and food, right? And a sociopath, probably. But he had a saying, smart people are malleable. Give them a task and they will adapt. That's how you could take someone like me, who came in as a SME, that means subject matter expert, a SME, and turn me into someone they were grooming to have a much bigger management role, including offering to have me, to pay for me to go get my MBA. Something maybe I should have done. They offered to fly me to London, let me live over there and run a team in London. And in exchange for that, give me money, in fact, pay for an entire education. I told them, I don't have an undergraduate degree. They said, we can help you with that. We can help you accelerate that process very, very quickly, get you an MBA, and you can come back with a full MBA, having had international business experience living in London. Maybe I should have done that. Microsoft practiced DEI in the greatest possible sense with me. A guy who shouldn't have made it through the recruiting process. If I had just submitted a resume, it would have been kicked out of the resume bot. If I didn't have friends like Brad to help me get into Microsoft, I wouldn't have gotten into Microsoft. If I didn't have people like Matthew, who had worked for me and is my dearest lifelong brother, who went to Microsoft to back up that I should be there. Or people I'd met at industry events saying, hey, this guy's smart. He gets the streaming media stuff really, really well. If I didn't have those things, I wouldn't have gotten in the door. But once in the door, I wasn't a diversity hire. I was a white dude, just like any other white dude on campus. And I was well aware of the fact that I came from behind because I did not have the education to stand on. Therefore, I had to come in and be smart about how I developed what's called a portfolio. I had to be smart and intentional, starting with that great advice to go build revenue and then to get great reports, people who work for me. And I really was a true believer in hire people smarter than yourself. That mattered to me. Everybody on my team was smarter than me in every possible capacity. When Microsoft fired its DEI head or has fired its team, they're not really doing away with diversity, equity, and inclusion. They're doing away with the people who are the opposite of that. That theory, get me black bodies, has cost good people their careers. There's a guy I kept in touch with at Microsoft, and we'd see each other from time to time. He was in Washington, D.C. We crossed over there, and we'd have dinner from time to time. He actually called me because he knows what I do for a living, and he knew I would get this. He lost a dream job at which he had excelled in a core business area of Microsoft, their Azure product, the cloud thing, which was a huge strategic thing he was on. He was making a ton of money, had a great big team. He was traveling globally. This was the key to becoming a partner. Base salary for partners are $1 million a year, or used to be. You get these sabbaticals every 6 years, I think. I think it's like a 12-week sabbatical. You get massive, massive stocks. It is a huge jump. This makes you're mobbed up. He was on that path when HR called him and said, hey, this is going to be kind of a hard discussion, but we need to have it with you. So the phone call goes like this. Hey, we need you to come in and have a discussion. So he's thinking, have I done something wrong? Did I offend somebody? Walks into the room and they sit down and they say, hey, this is a take one for the team moment. There's a woman who's going to come in and take over your role. And we're sorry to say that we're going to help you find another role. It might involve a lateral transfer into another division. Now, at Microsoft, there are core business divisions like Azure, and there are non-core. Non-core always get laid off first. Core are always last to get laid off. Non-core get the leftovers. Core get the first fruits. He knew this. And he said, okay, so my performance reviews are 4.0s to 4.5s, sometimes 5.0s. Hard to get a 5.0. 5.5 is like perfect. And so I haven't had any disciplinary issues. I have no lack of performance. I've met all my commitments. Why is this happening? This is a diversity move. The decision has been made. It is irrevocable. We're going to help you find a lateral transfer somewhere else. Same level. He ended up getting transferred into a non-core business unit and had no reports. In other words, he was stripped of all influence at Microsoft, even though at that time, there wasn't an international business deal that could get done, any international business deal that could get done out of the Azure unit without going over my friend's desk. He had to review every single deal. That's power. He didn't have any on this other job. Gone. The woman who came in to replace him was Hispanic and had never worked in that field. She'd never done international business. She had never worked in business development. She had never written or reviewed contracts of this level ever once in her life. She came from a communications-PR background. When she was brought onto the team and was doing the first team call, believe it or not, it was another female who addressed this very issue. She virtually raised her hand in the meeting and said, I have a question. And this lady said, yes. She said, you do know that you're here replacing a great, talented manager with all sorts of experience in this business and in this business unit, and you're coming in with absolutely no experience, and you expect us to accept this? You're actually accepting this job knowing it's because you're an Hispanic woman, right? You're doing this? And the lady said, yeah, I am. I'm doing it. I'm taking this, and I'm going to need you guys to teach me this business. I'm smart and talented, and I'll learn, but I need you to teach me. That woman who made that challenge to the new boss wrote an email later and said, I will not sit and provide on-the-job training for a person at this level of our business who has never worked in this division, has never worked in core tech, is a communications person, because what this means is do my job for me while I get to have the title. She transferred herself out of that core business unit. Does she get her job back, Microsoft? Does my friend that you openly moved out of the way because he was too white, does he get his job back? Now, revenge is the province of God. It is. It's not the province of mankind. I'm not seeking revenge. I'm seeking justice. It is the Lord Jesus who tells us in the body of Christ, there's no servant nor master, no Greek nor Jew. He invented all the so-called races of people. He made us all and wants to view us all equally. So do I. So my question to Microsoft is, now that you've made this change, are you going to rectify the change?